Hugh, we appreciate you being with us this morning. There's a lot we want to get into, obviously, for a variety of reasons. We'd like to start in one of the last places you were as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, you were dismissed there last year, and they went with Freddie Kitchens this year, and there were high expectations in Cleveland, and simply put, they have not been met. Why do you think that is the case?
Well, I think it's, several things. I think, obviously, first of all, they haven't played as well as they wanted to on offense. When you watch, all I could do, I'm not there, so I can just go by what I see and go by the data that's out there. The quarterback hadn't played as well as I think he's capable of playing. They have not had the chemistry worked out between the receivers and the quarterback. So there's not been a lot of consistency there. And then on defense, obviously the biggest Achilles heel in the National Football League is stopping the run. So they haven't been able to do that. And I think losing Myles Garrett really hurt them this year.
And part of that, Hugh, we keep talking about coaches whenever it's about their job. Even this year, coaches that may be playing for their job, and they say, I'm just worried about the job and winning. But you know what? You guys are human beings as well. So, I mean, you get dismissed from there. Things aren't going well. They're there now. Is there a part of you that said, you know what? I do think I was doing it the right way there?
I in my heart and my mind, I know I was, but again, I don't get to judge myself. Sometimes there's a lot of public opinion that gets passed on you and, also within the organization. I get it and I understand that. But at the same time, I know the staff that we had there was a quality staff, a really good staff, and I know they worked their tails off.
It's been a difficult last couple of seasons for a place you also were a head coach at, the Oakland Raiders. They've filled that stadium, the fans have, knowing for 2 years that this team was leaving. Last Sunday was the last game for them at the Coliseum. Obviously, it was in many ways sort of a microcosm of what's gone on there the last few years. They had a fourth quarter double-digit lead, fell apart, and then it got a little ugly at the end of the game. But this is a chapter in football in the NFL history that is now closed, and I think it needs to be recognized for what it meant for that area to have that team and what that fan base was.
It was obviously the Raiders were everything to Oakland. I mean, you just see what happened after the game. I mean, there's people taking seats. There's people really emotionally that were emotionally tied to the team. And so that's going to be hard for them. I hated to see it happen. I understand, everybody's looking for bigger and better. But at the same time, that will be, like you just mentioned, that will go down in the history of what the Oakland Raiders meant to the city of Oakland.
Talking to Hue Jackson, former Raiders and Browns head coach. And let's go to the Browns head coaching stint, the years there, because there's sports and then there's where real life mixes in as well. You had a player there in Josh Gordon, who now with Seattle just got suspended for the 6th time, 5 times. It had been because of substance abuse. So you had him there in that locker room. Hugh, what were conversations you had with Josh? Where would you be and what would you be saying to Josh right now about how his situation should be handled and what he should be doing?
Well, we've had, so many conversations with Josh. I like Josh. I think Josh is a great person. I think he really wants to make it happen for himself and his family and his teammates and everybody. But he needs to go and truly, truly get the help that he needs for his life. This is bigger than football. And I think we made a decision at the time to make it bigger than football, our last opportunity. We really made a decision as an organization that if this is not right for us, that we're going to move on and move forward because we want, you can't just keep bringing the young man back because it's almost like saying it's okay, So even though we know that we're talking about a real sickness, we're not talking about something that just goes away. This kind of stays with you. So you have to get the proper help in order to move forward.
Talking to Hue Jackson with us, excuse me, former NFL head coach on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Hugh, you were also slated to run the on-field portion of Colin Kaepernick's workout. I'm just curious because we talk so much about it from every other perspective. What was that day like for you when things changed so rapidly, so quickly?
It was like it was different. But as you know, we as head coaches, we wear a lot of different hats, and you just got to kind of go with the flow and keep moving forward. But no, I wish it would have happened for the young man. I have nothing but respect for Colin as a player, and I hope he gets another opportunity. But at the same time, that day was different.
Do you think he made a mistake by not working out at the Atlanta facility?
Well, it's hard for me to say that he did or didn't, just because I don't know all the inner workings of everything else that was going on. I just know he had a chance that day to do something that we all felt he wanted to do, which was showcase his talent and ability.
And obviously he chose to do that in a different way, and we'll see what happens going forward. Speaking of going forward, as Hue Jackson is with us, what are the plans for you in the future? What are your hopes to get back? Are you looking to get back in the NFL as a head coach?
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking to get back in the NFL as a coach, first and foremost, as a coordinator, obviously, or as a head coach. I mean, obviously, I want another opportunity. I think no one has seen the best side of me that way. My days as a coordinator, that speaks for itself. But, when you get knocked down a couple of pegs like I have been, you want to climb back up and show people that you're very worthy of doing the job. So 2020, I'm looking to get back on the grass in the National Football League, whether it's coaching as a coordinator or potential as a head coach.
Hugh, it's so funny that you use that phrase, because when our friend and our coworker for 9 years, Herm Edwards, decided to go back into coaching, I asked him what was it about, and he said, "I miss the grass under my feet."
Yeah.
Those were the exact words he used. So just real quickly, can you explain, like, once you're a coach, I think you're always on some level a coach. We had Eric Mangini here with us once, and he was going to be a good analyst, and things were looking great, and then he went back to a coaching clinic, and he said, "Trey, when they put the clicker in my hand, I felt it was like my missing thumb."
Absolutely. I mean, you're when you've done it as long as the coaches you just mentioned and myself, as long as we've done it, I mean, it's just kind of who we are. It doesn't mean that we can't do other things, but boy, this is our passion. This is where our dedication is. It's where our discipline comes from. It's the coaching family.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app, and for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.